Anyway, we're just going to have to roll and see what happens. Getting close to the cold open. In fact, cold open in 5. What do you know? Let's go. Kia ora team, I'm Benny. Welcome to the People's Garden, where it's just been pouring with rain. It's a little dark, the lighting's not great, I know that, I'll say that in advance. But that's not going to dampen our spirits. It's not going to stop us from spreading love and giving flowers with Monday morning shout-outs. It's not going to stop us from doing live gardening. In fact, today, we make history by doing live digital gardening. More on that soon. We'll take a look back at the week that was, take a look ahead at the week to come. Due to the overwhelming success of the debut last week of Peeling Back the Onion, I'm going to be doing the same again. Peeling back a layer of this complicated enigma you see before you, to reveal something that you may not know about me. All those things and many more are coming up right here, right now, on a very cold, well, not that cold, but definitely dark and wet Monday Morning Live, where we start off by making history, the first ever digital live gardening segment. This is a swan plant, and the kids love it. They love watching the caterpillars grow, they love watching the caterpillars eat the leaves and get bigger. They love watching them form the chrysalises and then hatch and fly away. They love watching the butterflies come back and lay more eggs. Actually, my dad came over, and Eliza, my little 5-year-old daughter, was explaining to Dad the life cycle of the monarch butterfly. And my dad said, yeah, but what came first, the butterfly or the egg? Bit of a mind bender for the kids, but what we're going to do today, now there's a few aphids starting to appear on this swan plant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the digits of my fingers to just squish those aphids. Gardening using my digits, digital gardening, right here on Monday Morning Live. Let's see what we can do about this lighting. If I lean back, does it get better? No. If I lean forward, does it get better? No. If I take my hat off, oh, there we go, that got better. Forgive my forehead, I did have a few marks that I essentially burned off. Actually, just on that, we might as well go into the week that was, because I had some really good news this past week. I mentioned last week on the show that I had a couple little marks that I was a little bit worried about. One in particular on my shoulder. They took a biopsy. They cut out a little chunk, they sent it off to the lab to test it. The doctor said that the results would probably take a week or two to come through, and they'll let me know where we go from there. It was a fairly nervous wait, to be honest. You know, you start to think, what if it is something bad? You know, it might require a surgery, it might be even more serious than that. And you start to think, you know, what if the worst case scenario was to happen? Anyway, I'm out in the field working at the farm at Golden Mile Produce. I was out in the field, I think I was picking gherkin. Anyway, I get a text come through on my phone, and it was my doctor. And it says that the mole on my arm is benign. But I freaked out. I thought that was the bad one. I was like, benign? Like, that sounds bad. You know, like, if you say it loud, it sounds like a really angry German. Benign! Benign! Anyway, I'm out in the field, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is it. This is the worst possible news. It's this benign thing. And then I reread the text, and I realised that it said, fortunately your mole is benign and no further treatment is required. But for a second there, I was like, no! I was like, what are people going to do every Monday at 11 a.m? So really good news that I'm in the clear, but it does show just to get these things checked. And I've still got a little bit of recovery from the ones on my forehead that I burned off. Speaking of things that burned in the weekend, the Crusaders, they lost again. The Black Caps lost to Australia again, that one burns. As much as I love Test cricket, it's probably my favourite sport, Test cricket. And of any sport, any form of cricket, Test cricket is my favourite. But geez, that one was a tough watch. We had a great week at the Marlborough Farmers Market. Had a great chat with my friend Lee at Mississippi Herbs, just to get a little bit of the history of the Marlborough Farmers Market, because we're coming up to a very historical week. It's a couple of weeks' time. It's National Farmers Market Week, and we're going to celebrate at the Marlborough Farmers Market in a big way. Had a chat with Lee at Mississippi Herbs. I did a little bit of filming for my good friend Ron at Sharp As. You can check that out. That's up on the Facebook page now. One of my most viewed TikTok videos ever. That one is. TikTok's a hard one to work out. I don't get it. I don't really like it. I'm on there, but I'm not sure why. Some of my videos do remarkably well, but I don't know why. Anyway, it's not going to stop me. Let's take a look at the week ahead. In celebrity birthdays this week, if he was still with us, the late great Rick Mail would have been 66. Absolute comedy legend. He used to always do the 3. I've got 3. No, he'd go. I've got 5 reasons. 5. Anyway, I tried to do it at the top of the show, but probably didn't do it justice. A few people jump on there. Morning, Brett. Shout out to you. Cold day here, wet day here in Blenheim. I bet it's not cold and wet where you are. Right, last week we peeled back the onion. We're going to do the same after an overwhelmingly good response. Because you see, I'm a complicated man with many layers, much like this onion. And I'm going to peel back one of the layers now to reveal something about myself that you may not know. I'm going to reveal my first ever job and what I learned from it as we peel back the onion on Monday Morning Live. My first job that I ever had. Who's jumped on? Brett's on. Someone else is on. Who's there? Someone's there. I can't see you. Shout out. Do a comment down below so I can see who you are. I'm peeling back the onion to reveal my first ever job. First job I ever had was mowing lawns around my neighbourhood for elderly people who were no longer able to do so themselves. I tell you what I learned from my first job. As I put my hat on and pretty much ruined the lighting for Facebook. That's better, so we'll stick with that. You just have to put up with my ugly forehead. My first job was mowing lawns for people who were no longer capable of doing so, elderly people. Sometimes I'd use my dad's lawnmower, sometimes I'd use the customers. I'll never forget the first time this one lady asked me to mow her lawn on a regular basis. I'll talk a bit louder because you can probably hear the rain on the roof. You can probably hear the garden going, oh thank God, it's been such a hot, dry summer. We need this rain. Now that we're into autumn, it's good that it's finally here. Let's get back to my long-winded and convoluted peeling back the onion. This one old lady, she asked me to mow her lawn on a regular basis, this one elderly lady. She said it was okay if I used her mower and it's okay if I use her fuel. But she asked if I would mind cleaning her mower after I'd finished so it's nice and clean for the next time. I thought that's fine. I actually thought it was a good idea and it's something that I now do on a regular basis. Anyway, I mowed her lawn and I thought I did a pretty good job. I cleaned the mower and I put it away in the garage. And I went to see her to get paid. And she said, you know, would you mind if I have a bit of a look around? She had a look around and she noticed this one part of the grass where I hadn't mowed it. It was underneath this tree. The grass wasn't growing very well, it wasn't getting very much sun. I didn't see the point, so I didn't mow it. But she said, you know, it would probably look a lot tidier if you did mow that bit, so I'd like you to do it. So I got the mower out of the garage, I fired it up again. Morning, Lee, shout out to you. Just telling a story about this old lady, this one elderly lady. She wanted me to mow this little bit of lawn underneath her tree. So I did it. I fired up the mower again. I mowed that bit of grass. I cleaned the mower again. I put it away. That taught me the value of doing things right the first time. I learned something else. Because over time, she lost a lot of her mobility. She used to spend a lot of time just sitting in her kitchen looking out at her backyard. The tree in question, which I hadn't mowed underneath, was in her front yard. Because she couldn't get around, I knew that she couldn't get out to check it. But I mowed it anyway, even though I knew that if I didn't, she would probably never know. But I did it anyway, because it was the right thing to do, it's what she wanted. I had a teacher at school, and he used to say, integrity is all about doing the right thing, even if no one's watching. and like today's show, which surprisingly several people are watching. And shout out to you, thanks for joining us. That's my first ever job, mowing lawns around my neighbourhood, and that's what I learned from it. The value of doing things right the first time, and I learned the value of integrity, the meaning of integrity. Anyway, I'm trying not to bum everybody out too much with these segments. Let's lighten things up a little bit. I'm going to give a Monday morning shout out to my good friend Karen. I'm privileged to be able to work with Karen every Sunday morning from 9 to 12 at the Marlborough Farmers Market. Karen is responsible for this week's joke of the week. You see, there were these 5 ants. They were living in this house they were renting. 5 ants. Another 5 ants moved in, and then they were 10 ants. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Monday morning. Shout out to Karen for joke of the week. Righto. We've done the week that was. We've done the week ahead. We've done live digital gardening. I've peeled back the onion. Now it's time to just riff. Let's let loose. What's going to happen this week? In fact, what's going to happen the rest of today? Who's going to work? I wouldn't be surprised if you've called in sick or told the boss you need to start late because you have to tune in to Monday Morning Live. This is episode number 42. And I'm very privileged and very grateful for everybody that tunes in, not only to Monday Morning Live, but to my YouTube channel, which is Grow with Bennies, which is slowly growing. You know, if Grow with Bennies was a plant, it'd probably be something like a thyme herb or a capsicum, a chili, something that grows really slowly, but nevertheless, it's growing. Grow with Bennies. Thanks to all of you. What else is going on this week? I've got to take the car for Warren Fitness. It's always a humbling experience, the Warren Fitness. You drive in, optimistic, and I lose my voice. As I lose my voice from trying to shout over the rain. Take the car for a Warren. Look after the kids. I didn't go to assembly today. Corbin got a little bit wobbly the last couple of weeks because he kept looking around to make sure that I was still there. Often I would go there, sing the anthem, put my hand over my heart because I'm trying to make that a movement, make it a thing. And Corbin would look around, he'd see me. And one time I snuck out just before the end of the actual assembly, and I think Corbin got a bit upset because he couldn't see me while I wasn't there. A little bit like if I lean back too far because of the lighting, you can't see me. All of a sudden I'm John Cena. Anyway, let's keep riffing a little bit longer. I want to hear from you about the sort of things you want to see on Monday Morning Live. My good friend Karen gave me the great feedback about peeling back the onion. That's why we did it again here on MML 42. What else was going on? We lost Richard Lewis last week. Very funny comedian and actor. He was a really funny character. He essentially played himself on the show Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. Such a good show, which is currently in its final season. I haven't got my trowel, that if I did, that would probably be something that I'm digging. Now, I'm just going to have a look and see how much time we've got here. Yeah, we're running out of time, so let's wrap up. Thank you for joining me here on Monday Morning Live. Thank you for coming to see me every Sunday morning at the Marlborough Farmers Market. Thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel, Grow with Bennies. And I'll see you next time in the garden. And hopefully you'll get to see me. Boom.